Good weekend, all. Ira Epstein of Linn and Associates with your metals market wrap-up for this Friday, and this is right now the evening already, and this is June 19th, 2020. Well, what a day. You know, we've been fighting with watching that no matter what goes on in the stock market, bad news is bull news is bull news, and they give all the reasons who's buying and so on, but the markets have been on a tear to the upside. What people aren't paying attention to, and I keep saying it, is I'm disturbed by all these cases of COVID in Florida, Texas, Arizona, the Carolinas, part of Washington State, and these numbers are not small. They're setting a record now, I just read, in Florida, Texas, Arizona. I mean, people are still walking around in many of these areas without masks. I used to live in Miami Beach. I know what it's like at this time of the year. You get everybody coming in. They're not going to wear masks around there. They're going to the beach. They're all laying on whatever they're doing, and it starts passing. You can't stop it from doing that. And it's not just Miami. The whole coast, both sides, be it the east side, west side, people, you have to be careful. And as these cases go, what set the market back today was, of all things, Apple. I think when it announced it's closing 11 stores in areas that have this high infection, the market looked at that and said there is some reality to these cases. That's what I think happened. Obviously, this market will go, and I like to call it like the SpaceX launch, to the upside if somebody gets number one, a vaccine. Game over. This thing doesn't matter anymore. Or a treatment would be very helpful too. I don't think it would have the same impact as a vaccine. You'd still be getting the disease and you have to get it out there. A vaccine would be the interesting part. But life gets back to normal. But is there a point where you start running out of this bullishness in that market? Well, gold came alive on the news today. It was up, and it was up all morning. This market wasn't backing off all day. After the news from Apple came out, it got stronger. Silver soared, but it gave up about 20 cents. And the copper market fell back 4 cents, which makes all the sense to me in the world. As long as there's no COVID and it's getting handled, supply chains need copper. They have to make product for people, blah, blah. Get this going again and you start shutting down factories, God forbid. That's what weighed, I think, on the copper to a degree. So let's go, if we could, to a monthly chart. There's nothing bearish on this. The market is still trying to not get away from the upper Bollinger Band, and no, I don't think it's just going to go through it and stay over it. So the 1777 level is a potential target on a monthly chart for some resistance. When I take a look at a weekly chart of just closes, you finished off at 1745.90, not with a new high, but you're certainly knocking on the door again. So that's very impressive for the market. The market also, this is an important event, got back over this hump. See that? So the market came through that. It's the first time in a while. This puts still the play with the upside bias very much at work here. Now, when we come to a weekly chart, you can see we've been in a distribution, and that's what you should call this. You've got almost a double top, I think you'd agree. You came down, you didn't make a double bottom, that's too high off of it, but you've been in a distribution, sideways action. In that sideways action, you have a pattern with this week's high up here at 1750.70 over the last high here of 1747. And I do like to show something. We had an outside week down right here. When you have an outside week down, that would give me lower highs, lower lows. I have a rule of thumb. It does not mean it works all the time. My rule of thumb, if you take out the high of an outside week down within 2 weeks, it's a bear trap. You did it now. I look for the market to then go to the closest moving average, if there's one above the market, and I use certain moving averages, or a Bollinger Band, and it would be above the market at that point. So let's see the moving averages. Well, they're under you. You got the 200, the 100, the 18. I use others. If you get my subscriber video in the mornings, and that's a paid for one, you'll see the other averages, and there's not a lot of them. I keep it very disciplined. But to me, that's a bear trap. I'm wrong in my analysis. If you come back through, right here, the 1675.90, got it? That I'd be dead wrong. So that's how I look at it. So where could the market go on that? The upper Bollinger Band is my target. Doesn't mean it's going to run there right now. Doesn't mean it has to run there. But it's my target. It's now live on my systems. And wherever that number is a number I'm looking for. Again, it doesn't have to go there, but you've put into play the momentum to get there unless you take that out. The slow stochastic is pointing up. Remember, on weekly charts, when I do momentum, weekly charts only, I look at momentum up, down, or sideways. It is up. I look at the gold-silver ratio. And on the longer-term basis, the silver market is stayed under the 18-week average, which means the bias is down, and you should need to get less ounces of silver to get the gold. Well, 93.89 was the lowest number it's recently had after hitting 120.22. It bounced, and it's giving you a correction. That's how I view it. What about silver itself? Silver's been in an uptrend. It's had on the weekly chart higher lows, higher highs. The short-term average is over the longer term, the 100. We've had a correction in the market, but its system is still looking bullish, not anything else. Copper, what's the number you went up to that I would tell you that you're going to have trouble? Here's a market coming up. The first challenge of a Bollinger Band. A Bollinger Band is an important number. The first challenge of a major moving average, which is the 100 here, very important. The market gave you a kiss on this week. It went up to 270. It hit both the Bollinger Band and the 100-week. As far as I'm concerned, professional money stepped out of the market there. Did they take off all their position? I don't know. What I know is if you were on the phone with me and you're saying, Ira, what should I do? You're my broker. I'd say, hey, trend has been up. You're there. You got to take some money off the table. You've got an area of pretty stiff resistance. And as you can see, the market just backed off from it. The trend is still up. You can see that you're over the 18. You've got the swing line up and momentum is still up. In the platinum, all you did here is fall back to the support of the 18-day average. Now, you had a market that got up, kept the uptrend, came back to challenge right here, the 100-week, then went to the 18. It's been holding the 18, and now to get the trend back up, all you need to do is get over 851. Well, actually, this week's high was 849.70, and you'll have higher lows. You've already got the higher highs. If you can clear 851.90, you might be putting into play getting back for a run at the upside of the Bollinger Band. Momentum flat right here. By the way, is there anything on that that would turn me bearish? Well, the only thing that would negate the uptrend on this chart to me is getting under 750, 770. That would not be a bear sign. It'd be a sign that the uptrend was broken. In the dollar index, the challenge of the 100-day average and the Bollinger Band especially. I have a rule of thumb. First time you hit Bollinger Bands, I tell my traders, that is where I think the pros are coming out of the market. Up here's the resistance, 99.10. Momentum still down, trend down. The risk of going short at 99.10 up to 161. So that's my news back there. So what I do for you, and I think you realize it, because I've got a legion of people, if you will, out there that watch these, and we have people that watch them on our websites and so on, is I try to help you help yourself. I want to be your sounding board. I don't want to manage your money, not interested in it in any manner. All I'm interested in is being your sounding board. You're saying to yourself, gee, maybe I should buy the gold market. What does Ira think? That's where I want to come in. I'm looking at a currency play. How's that going to impact something? What does Ira think? That's where it's at. So at 5:40 in the morning, I start recording. Unless something's gone out in my office, my home, something wrong where I can't record, I'm in front of this, my computer. And thank God you don't see me at that hour, but I've got my headset and everything. I got a whole studio here, and I'm recording and I'm covering all these markets. But besides just charts, I'm going to tell you what went on in Asia overnight, what's going on in Europe. You'll see the reports coming out for the day. I broadcast them right in this, what the trade is looking for, what I think you have to look for the day, and then I start throwing out my ideas for you. The idea is to help you if you're interested in seeing what I do. I keep everything very inexpensive. $7.95 for the first 30 days. After that, it's $15 per 30 days. I know a lot of you trade spiders and ETFs, so I made a combo. I do the same thing I do here at about 4 in the afternoon for spiders and ETFs. Again, you won't see it anywhere unless you're a paid subscriber. And I combo this and give you a discount on the two. It's not expensive. It's not meant to be. I also give with all of these the handheld QT mobile so you can keep up with what the markets are doing. And I try to give you special reports. Now, I haven't done a special report very often recently. I'm about to. I needed to get certain things taken care of, so now I'm going to get back in. They're free with this. People that aren't my subscribers, they only get in a 12-month period to view 2 or 3 of them, and then after that, they're $2.50 a piece. They're included with these. They're coming back on, and I already just went out and got my Zoom. My cameras are here, so I'm going to start web conferences, all included. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good weekend. I hope you support us. You have a good one.